Hey everyone, and welcome back to 2 Cent Movie Talk. 2 Cent Movie Talk, the place where we give you our 2 cents on the movies we've seen in theaters and online. And today we're here to talk to you about our latest viewing experience, which was
Thor, Love and Thunder.
a little bit of thunder with your loving. You gotta have loving and thunder. You know, they gotta go together. You can't have thunder and no love and no thunder. The two come together and BOW! There you go. That's what we have here. So yeah, go ahead. I want you to start this time because I'm on the next one right now. So, go ahead.
By the way, I'm Nika.
They know who I am.
They don't know you.
I'm Greg.
He's Greg.
That's right. I should put it on my shirt. We should get T-shirts with our names on it.
Yeah.
So yes, before we get off on a tangent and end up talking about 20 minutes of nothing.
If you're not subscribed,
Link is below. Subscribe, follow, get notifications because when we have stuff that pops off, you want to see it pop up on your screen so you can pop off and have a good time with us. This is a spoiler. We're going to talk freely about this.
yeah, because at this point, if you haven't seen it, that's your fault.
If you haven't seen it, then so yeah. So this is the 4th installment in the Thor.
Legacy?
The Thor series. That's the word. And this one finds Thor post all the stuff he's gone through with the end game and the long lost dad and brother and mother, and he's finding himself here. He's with the Asgardians.
His dad and brother isn't long lost. They're dead.
They lost long. Well, they're not long lost. Well, they're not lost. You know exactly where they are.
They're dead.
They're in Valhalla. I don't know if Loki went to Valhalla. He
didn't die in battle.
That's true. Well, technically, kind of, but not really. Yeah, and his dad didn't either. But he was a guy.
Yeah, he probably went to Valhalla.
So yeah, but this story, directed by Taika Waititi, brings back the whole crew. Tessa Thompson is back. Natalie Portman is back. Korg and Meek are back. The cameo, or I wouldn't want to call it a cameo, but I guess it's a cameo of the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Minus Gamora, because she's off on whatever she is. We'll find that out when Guardians comes out. Yeah, volume video. Hopefully we'll find out what happened. But yeah, so this movie finds Thor, finding himself, and it's really the Thor and Jane movie song, because Jane is going on about her life, dealing with what seemed to be stage 4.
Stage 4.
Stage 4 cancer, so she's going through treatment.
They never said what type of cancer, just said stage 4.
Just said stage 4 cancer. We even asked the movie, they say they should get that typical the worst kind, the kind that kills you, whatever.
Right.
So
get your affairs in order.
Yes, get your affairs in order time.
Yeah.
So she basically is dying, and Thor's kind of returning back to the Thor he was, but he wants to find himself. So Jane somehow through studying her studies and things like that, they just turns to her last resort, which is to go to Asgard and find New Asgard and find Mjolnir, who's
actually she said it was calling to her.
It was calling to her, and the reason for that is because Thor asked Mjolnir to watch over her.
Yeah.
So it did what the only thing it could do, which is empower her with the powers, bestow upon her the powers of Thor.
Right.
And Mjolnir puts itself back together, and it has some cool effects now because now it can break apart and attack and come back together.
Yeah.
So, the hammer gives her health, it keeps her alive, but at the same time, it weakens her human form, which basically lets the cancer become more aggressive. So, if she's in Thor form, she's good. If she's in Jane form, she's not good.
She's really messed up.
So this movie is an interesting movie. Taika's movies are really all over the place a little bit, but they're comical. They're serious and comical at the same time. He does a blend of it. And this movie, to me, I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it was a love it or hate it type of flow for a while.
Yeah.
Because some of the comedy in there, either I just had to just accept it and move on, or it would kind of destroy the whole vibe for you.
Yeah.
So, like the goats. Zeus. I mean, Meek and Korg especially doing some stuff.
Zeus was kind of funny to me.
It was funny. It was ridiculous. I mean, the little skirt,
skirt walking down the stairs.
Oh goodness.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
But we would be remiss if we did not mention the baddie in this movie.
Yeah.
Played by Christian Bale, Gore the God Butcher, whose motivation, I just roll with it, but his motivation seemed to be a little lacking. I mean, he found out
I mean, I guess his motivation came from him wishing for the gods to help them, and they didn't, and he lost his daughter.
Yeah.
So that's where his anger came from. Just kill all the gods because they're not doing anything to help us.
Yeah. So the sword, God, I can't remember the name of the sword, but the sword is what empowered him. He was possessed by the sword, and the more he used the sword, the more it was killing him.
Yeah.
And but he was striking his vengeance out on all gods, so he went on his journey to kill all gods. Yeah. He killed a lot of them. Killed a lot of them until he got to Thor, Jane, and I guess when I'm telling this movie out and when I'm talking it out, I see how on paper it doesn't seem to make sense. Like the movie opened up with him just walking in the desert, Gore, in the desert
with his daughter.
Yeah, who appeared to be just starving. They never really say why, or maybe they did.
There was
something.
no rain. He wanted rain, so they were, dying from heat exhaustion, dying from lack of water and food, and he wanted help, so he prayed to the gods, hoping that they would help him, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, the gods not only didn't help him, they were laughing at him. It was, you don't mean anything to us. You're just something to do.
Right.
Like, why are you here? You're in our way. We don't care about your prayers. Man, beat it. Go on to the rest of the desert. I'm eating whatever fruit they were eating. And be gone.
Kind of weird fruit. Yeah.
So that kind of sets this thing off, For me, the best part of the movie, or at least was the way they played off of Jane and her illness, and that aspect of it. Yeah. The comedy was funny. I enjoyed the goats that were screaming.
Oh my god.
The goats were corny, but they worked. There's a lot of stuff in there that was like, you almost just had to accept it and move on, because it was like the him having an issue with Mjolnir, Stormbreaker being jealous of Mjolnir. Yeah. I'm like,
seriously, dude?
Yeah, like when did this happen? Like when did this happen? So like the old flame comes back, and now you're like,
no, you're jealous because you think that he wants the old flame back.
Yeah. So like, it was action packed. It had a lot of action. It's a fun time, and this movie to me doesn't stray too far away from the MCU and everything they've been doing. It does seem to be a really solo movie. It was a complete movie. Yeah. Because they really kind of almost rebooted Thor's origin. But it's like a second chance at life where he's post Avengers, and now he's traveling through space with the Guardians, and gets tired of battling. He just had to figure out what is my point, what is my purpose, I need to find myself, more or less. So it sets him on a journey down that path, and as he's going through that journey, he finally rekindles with Jane and comes back to her and finds himself right in the middle of another battle. Yeah. So it's man, I'm trying to just kind of wrap my head around so many things and put them into words, but you want to talk about the Zeus scene? Yeah. You love that scene. I thought it was ridiculous.
I thought it was funny, only because it's like, what made it really funny to me is, first of all, it's supposed to be Zeus, right? He's all powerful, whatever. And I'm are you seriously telling me that Russell Crowe couldn't have worked out for that part of the thing? But it kind of made it funnier at that point. He's got his little goddesses around him, and then here comes Thor, and he's like, something Thor said, he's like, you are not invited to the So I'm just like,
he called me. He said the gods are scared because he's trying to build a new army to fight Gore. Yeah. And he said, the gods aren't serious. You guys, they're afraid.
And Zeus's whole thing was, who's being invited to the if you know what I mean. I don't want to say it on.
You said it 16 times.
I'm gonna cut that out. So that part was funny to me, and then when he's like twinkle toesing it down the stairs with his little white skirt, like
he was totally the opposite of what you would have expected Zeus to be. I mean, I think that's why it worked. To me, it worked because it's like you expect him to be Zeus, and you've seen Zeus in many other movies or TV shows where he's always
Zeus
been that.
From Percy Jackson, was muscly, he was powerful, he was kind of indignant. But
yeah, even when he played when Liam Neeson played him in Clash of the Titans.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's always been that. So this is a different perspective on Zeus. I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It was funny, but it was so ridiculous. Like he walks there and he has this horrible accent.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, I can't even do the accent. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah.
But you hear him doing this accent, and he's like looking up to him, like, I looked up to you. You're my hero. And then he's like, yeah, well, look where you are. And the only thing he said, if Gore doesn't have the key, he can't kill the gods there. And the key was Stormbreaker, which
that's weird.
Yeah, like how would Zeus know that Stormbreaker was the key? Like the only reason he had Stormbreaker because Mjolnir was broken.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't get it, but maybe in the comic books it makes sense, but it wasn't really spelled out for me.
That part wasn't really. It's like seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, it's a spoiler, but well, I guess it
we
is.
already spoiled it.
So I mean, the piece, the ending. They go to. I think it was the way they were. It was like the void, or like the. It was space between universes. It was like I forget what they called it, but the final battle happens there on what has to be the coolest mini moon out of. I mean, it was like a little moon. It's like they were fighting on Pluto.
Yeah.
Because they were fighting, but you could tell they could almost go around the curvature of this little planet. I'm like, it's not an asteroid, but this is like it was creepy. And it was all in black and white. No, it was so wherever they went, no color couldn't even get in. So but strange enough, some light did and some air.
Of course.
But yeah, in the end, they're back up a little bit because there's that scene where Jane collapses because she's just too weakened from her illness. And he begs her not to use Stormbreaker again, like stay, don't come back. And she's in the hospital bed, and you're like, I know she's gonna come back. You know she is.
Right.
And then she comes back, so they built that whole little scene up where she shows up on his moon trying to help him fight, and ultimately they're able to win for her sacrifice.
Right.
But because she died, because she does die, and she dies in battle, she goes on to Valhalla. And they had broken. So the sword that Gore was using was really keeping him going. So once they broke the sword, he kind of came back to who he was. Yeah. But he was so his body was so.
I think either somebody told him. I don't know. Was it Thor that told him you can still use it?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the turning point where he was like, okay, I can use this basically to do good one last time. And that's how
he brought his daughter back.
He brought his daughter back. So yeah.
I didn't know which way he was gonna go with it. I didn't know if he was gonna save Jane. I mean, it'd have been useless to save Jane because I mean. Well,
one, we already know that she wasn't coming back after this. So we knew it wasn't going to be to save her because, like, how would you play that? Are you going to replace her with another Jane? Like, what would you do? But
and. The second reason is that I feel like Marvel's doing something bigger, which is setting up Young Avengers with across the board with Ms. Marvel, Kate Bishop from Hawkeye, Loki introduced variants of Loki that were kids, and then they'll have Gore's daughter, who in the end, because he brought his daughter back, he died and Jane died. Thor took her, and she had superpowers. Though not really sure how she. I mean, I forget how. They did something in the movie explained it, but she got him. So she's Love and he's Thunder, hence the name Love and Thunder. But now he kind of mentoring her as a mini Thor, kind of like Odin did with Loki. Kind of found the baby and took the baby and raised him as his own. So they're set up the Young Avengers. Marvel has the Armor Wars coming out. Next year, I think it is Armor Wars is, and then you have what's the other thing? There's something else.
Some we thought wasn't coming out to next year, but one of the kids said was coming out.
Wakanda Forever comes out this year.
Black Panther 2.
Yeah. So I mean, there really are. I mean, so this movie. At this point, there really are no Avengers. There are Avengers, but there's no team, and they haven't really described what the team looks like.
But it can't replace the original team. You don't have Black Widow. You don't have Iron Man. So for me, that's it.
You don't have Cap either.
Yeah.
He's gone. So a lot of the movies that Marvel are doing now they seem to be all over the place, but I don't think they're that scattered. You know, I know Kevin Feige mentioned something that we'll soon see the direction that they're going and put all the pieces together.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe that's the way, I don't think, maybe in my opinion, that's the way it should be, because when everything started way back when, everything came about, I mean, the Avengers, the movies leading up to the first Avengers, you had ideas, but it wasn't when Iron Man and Thor and Captain America first came out, we weren't looking that far so critically. Like now we're, you know, there's so much content, and they're like almost a dozen products into phase 4.
Yeah.
People are trying to pick it apart and look for a pattern and see what's happening, see what's coming next. So yeah, it's normal, and maybe that's why the movie still feels so separated. Like Doctor Strange was like a movie that dealt with his issues from Endgame, but it didn't point to another Avengers type thing. Right. He still stayed within his thing, and like Shang-Chi did as well. So who knows? Who knows what they have planned? But
I think I like the fact that, you know, that Doctor Strange, the Thor movies don't really connect with like said Avenger movies and stuff like that. I like the aspect because it focuses on that particular character and, you know, what that particular character is going through. Anytime you include the Avengers or other beings, it's, you know, you're trying to follow several different people. And it's not really focused on that one person. Like, did we review Doctor Strange?
No, I think we did review Doctor Strange.
I'm not going to talk about that yet, then.
Well, it's on streaming now. I mean, it's out. Okay. It's all over the place now.
So for me, with Doctor Strange, the only negative I thought was that it seemed more like focused around Wanda. I didn't feel that it was Doctor Strange. It was a Doctor Strange movie. Yeah. That's how I feel. I felt the focus was more so on her than Doctor Strange. So I like even though it was a combination of people in the Thor movie, it still kind of focused on him. Yeah. And it kind of took that little bit of arrogance that he had, I think, down a notch when he found out about Jane.
Yeah, it did. He kind of made him mushy inside.
Yeah. So I like that aspect of it. I like that it wasn't a totally gushy, mushy love story. Yeah. You know, it just kind of flowed like not your average I find out that my ex is about to die type thing, but you know, we're working together for one sole purpose, and let's not focus on what's happening to me. So I like that aspect of it.
Yeah. So in that respect, I think that's why I liked it as well. It was a movie that you could watch without seeing the other movies, and it's good that they get to that point, because I mean, there are Easter eggs and things in there for the diehards and the core fans and the comic book fans. But to me, the best part about a movie being able to watch it, you know, without having to have studied the night before, you know, 16 hours, read this, watch this video, and study this. Do you know this? Otherwise, you get lost. You can't keep doing that. I mean, they go down a rabbit hole, you know, and before you know, they have to start showing or telling you movies required to watch it. There'll be prerequisites for certain movies. And you don't want to have that. So, I'm going to rate this movie. Right. I'm going to rate it a B-. I don't want to give it a C because C is, I'm giving it a B-. So far of the Marvel movies that have come out, not just the movie, the TV shows are a different space for me. Not that many. We've had Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, and the Eternals came out earlier this year. This year or last year? That was last year. That was last year, I think. Yeah, I think these are the only 2 movies that have come out.
Last year too, right? Whenever, last year. We'll just say last year. If it's different, let us know, guys. But yeah, the
dates are kind of mushing together with this whole remote and not going out as much. Well, not going out as much, being at home. I'm home all the time.
So you kind of like everything just happens all at once.
Yeah, everything all at once. That's what we saw, everything all at once.
Yeah,
we didn't
everything everywhere all at once.
We got to do that. That was crazy.
It kind of put me in a weird spot, but yeah.
But this is a decent movie. I guess looking at the most recent movie from the last 2 years. I mean, post Endgame. This is probably one of my favorite movies. I mean, I put this ahead of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness because, like you said, it was almost like it reminded me of Captain America: Civil War, where it was like Captain America, but all his friends showed up to the party to cheer him on. So like that's like because Wanda made that movie. I mean, and it was that was packed so full with stuff that this was different. This wasn't as overloaded with content, and it made for a better viewing experience to me.
Because they could have easily done like they did with Doctor Strange. Well, there's two different people doing it, right?
The directors?
Yeah.
I think Sam Raimi did that one.
I think in Doctor Strange, the focus was on Wanda and what she lost and what she wanted. Whereas they could have did, Taika could have did the same thing here, made it focus on Jane. Yeah. But he didn't. Yeah. So I think that's why I like Thor over Doctor Strange. Yeah. And oddly, the first Doctor Strange, I really like that. I watch it all the time. Yeah. But with these, what we call them, separate movies, I think this will probably be in that circle of kind of favorites. And I really like watching Shang-Chi. I think it's more the fighting scenes and just the different characters in colors, because of course we talked about this, people. I like color. But I think I really like that. But I did really like Eternals too. So underrated. I mean, it didn't get as much respect as I think it should have. I mean, coming off the other movies, Eternals was kind of like you go to a college course, you got lots of smart kids, then you have someone who's like a philosopher. And they come into class, and you have to almost change your speed when listening to that person, and that's what Eternals did. But Eternals to me was a very good movie, and in some ways I feel like it was a test, like stick your toe in the water, as Marvel to see how they're gonna respond to this, because you notice the tone from that movie hasn't shown up in anything else. I mean the tone, not the character, but the tone. The tone. And but the story was good, and it's an overreaching story, not overreaching, but no, it's a what's the word I'm looking? I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but it's told from such a higher level because the Eternals and Celestials are so much greater than Earth's mightiest heroes or Wanda and all. If you think about it, they would be like the highest of gods, really. Because and we constantly talk about it. The rings that were in the Eternals appear to be the same rings that were in Shang-Chi. And I think when I watched it yesterday, something connected for me, and I was like, okay, yeah, those are. So, I've seen that online too, people debating were they the same rings or where did they get them from, but in hindsight, the Eternals were first. It seems like they created life, pretty much. Celestials did. Celestials created the life, and the reasoning for that was kind of selfish and on their end. You guys are gonna stay here until it's overpopulated and then he could be reborn. Like, dude, really? You're just gonna kill us all off?
Just sucking the energy out of life. But that's what they said. They were saying the bangle from Miss Marvel. I know we're getting on a tangent here, but that's happening.
Y'all know we do this.
That's what happens when you talk about the movie. Heard the bangle from Miss Marvel. That reason. That and the band, the rings were Kree tech from the Kree, but I mean that's speculation. I don't know if that's true, but they operate the same way. Fastos, all his Fastos, his technology moved like the rings. I mean, like her band, and the rings. The rings, and something else. Celestial kind of have a similar power. It all looks the same. Which I think there's something to that. So who knows? We'll see.
Now, one thing I did say to Greg, and I said it after Doctor Strange too, is the franchise starting to lose its luster.
Yeah.
That's where I'm kind of sitting right now. And, you know, like I said, I did like Thor. I did like the Doctor Strange movie, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
You know, just because I expected it to be more so about Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So, you know, we will, like we talked about, we will never have that huge excitement that we had before we got that.
Yeah.
For a long period of time, and we love that. But is there going to be something even close to greatness like that? And I personally don't think so.
I don't think so either. I feel like the phase 1 through 3 gave you the same feeling that you got the first time you saw the original Star Wars movies, or the first time you saw what was the other stuff I made, like Lord of the Rings. Like the first time, you can't go back to the well again and recapture that feeling. And I think Marvel, from what they're putting out, knows that. The only problem I have with it is that they're still, like, they built this one building and it became this beautiful castle that is like skyscraper, like 1,600 floors. It's a perfect building. It exceeded all expectations. I think that's what the first 3 phases did. It exceeded all expectations. It did the perfect casting, the way it went on. They didn't have many recasts, so you had the same players in the game all the way through. Yeah. You had a perfect villain in Thanos that came through and delivered, and you had a build-up that was so big in Endgame that you can't recreate. It fell off at the end of Endgame. You know my feeling about the doggone gauntlet trying to run through it like they're playing football. Like where
are you going?
I can fill an hour up talking about that.
Maybe we will one day.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
But from that point on, it was like, okay, we got you. Everybody's excited. You're all sitting in the theater, smoking a cigarette, relaxing, head back, like, relaxing. And now we're like, do it again. What's next? Like, we got some stuff for you. And then they show you the stuff, but you're on the edge of your seat thinking this is going to be as big as Endgame or bigger. And when it's just good, it's perceived as being meh. Had this story come out in the flow of phase 3, or Shang-Chi, which I think is an awesome movie, or Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness to come out before all this, or right in that space, like right after Endgame, it would have been received a little differently. But now because we have the TV shows and Disney Plus showing all these what if theories and what if theories and these alternate timelines and getting all this going on, you can stick with it, but it does lose a little bit of its punch. Yeah. And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't get your first. You only have one time to have your first kiss.
Right.
You know, the first car you get, the first day of going to school. All these firsts you don't get over. You can be married once. The second time isn't the same as first.
It's not the same.
So I mean, that's where we are. So when I go into the theaters for these movies, Thor, Doctor Strange, and anything coming afterwards, I go in and say no expectations. Let's just see what they give us this time.
Yeah.
And if it's good, it's good. It's not great because it's good. It's good. If it's bad, I'm like, well, okay, no worries, no problem. They're trying to appease all of us.
All of us.
And keep us here. It's hard to do.
It is. It hasn't gotten to the point where it's just like we're at the point where I'll just wait for it to come on TV. It hasn't gotten to that point yet. But I kind of feel like it will get there. I don't know.
I think it's taking a different tone. Like with the Avengers, it was earthbound. It was reality was based. It was one single reality, and the stakes were high, but it was relatable. Now they're entering into a place of, to steal the words from Black Widow, these are deep magic and monsters, and something we never. So when it's that big, it's such a fantasy-based thing. There's no espionage or spies. Or Nick Fury doesn't he doesn't have really much to say in this right now. I mean, so it's so big that you have to readjust your expectations of what you're watching. You're not watching. Infinity War. You're not watching Age of Ultron. You're not watching these movies. You're watching the multiverse of madness. I mean, that says it all, and that kind of opened up. So it's different. It's different and we just have to take this time to kind of see if we want to enjoy it. Hold on, folks. We have to let the puppy out.
I think that's Jordan. He needs the car. He got to work the next 3 days.
Okay, the kids don't. So
yeah.
So like I said, I give it a B minus.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I would go to the theater and watch it again. Doctor Strange, I've only watched that once and maybe in pieces when you watched it here. But again, I enjoyed it. But I'm enjoying it, like I said, as an independent movie. I'm not looking for the next big build-up. I mean, I just take it like I did when I first saw Iron Man and Captain America. Okay, we'll see what comes next.
Yeah. That's kind of what we have to do at this point, you know. But a lot of the people online, the fans online, the diehards, you know, they have a problem with everything that's come out since Endgame. And it's like you have to judge the movies on what they are and not what we got before. Like you'll never get, like you say, you'll never get your first again. You know, you get that big exciting gift that you got on your 10th birthday. You're not going to get that anymore. So judge these movies for what they are and not what we got before. That's what I say.
I think that the age of information and knowing ahead of time has got us to the point where we're expecting too much. I mean, these are great, highly skilled, highly talented people, but at the end of the day, they're human. And they're not going to give you like something out of this world every time. They're not going to knock it out the park every time. They're going to miss some things. You know, they're going to it didn't hit right, but they're making solid movies. They're good movies, and that's good. We're almost 30 movies into this thing now. Of the same saga. This has never been done before. There's nothing. There's nothing to closely relate to this.
Nothing can compare to this.
I mean, nothing. There's nothing with like. I mean, James Bond. I don't count James Bond because that's not a continuing story. It changes actors. It changes story. It changes. I mean, it kind of connects.
I don't know how many different James Bonds there were.
Exactly. So, I mean, Star Wars had 9 movies, and you know. And you got lucky, you got 9. The last 3 were okay, depending on who you ask. Nobody's going out buying one DVD or renting them on streaming. But I mean, so nothing lasts forever.
So, and we have to realize that. And, you know, it doesn't help when the insiders or the critics who see the movie before it even comes out, they give their opinions, and then people base the movies off the opinions of others instead of, like, we're not like that though. You know, and I try my best not to listen to the critics.
Me too.
You know, and I don't read the blogs or the forums before a movie comes out, and I'm really strict on how many trailers I watch because I don't want to be like, oh my god, this is gonna be so awesome. Like, I think we had that with one of the Transformer movies. I can't remember, but we saw a trailer. It was like, no, it was Infinity War because it was a part in the trailer that didn't make it to the movie.
Oh the big scene when they run through the woods, the jungle.
So that's it for me, and I don't think I really watched too many trailers from Thor either. So
I didn't watch them either. I didn't watch them either.
I agree with the B minus. I do agree with that, and you know, this may be where we stand with a lot of these standalone movies. Is they're not going to get the same grades that the bigger franchise movies got from us. So
I mean, it's hard for me to give a movie an A. I mean, the only movie I can think of, Marvel movie, that I would consider giving an A. I didn't rate it. Would be Civil War. No, The Winter Soldier. Because I can watch that movie any day. That movie is probably the best movie they made.
I like that. We like that one.
That one stands the test of time. That right up there with the first Iron Man.
It's the first Iron Man for him. Iron Man 3 for me.
Iron Man 3 for you.
But we both like 2 because of
Mickey Rourke. I wish he'd have been in that movie more. That was the Iron Man movie that got kind of bashed a little bit. But here's my. I was gonna say this, but you mentioned about critics. I've never been in agreement with professional critics being the measuring stick for how good or bad a movie is. In most fields, or in some spaces, I found that as people, we have the tendency to think that because we've done it for so long, we know more than someone who comes with less experience about a specific topic. And we watch tons of movies, and it would be unfair to us to judge Thor: Love and Thunder versus the vast collection of movies we've seen, because you can watch movies, you see where they're going.
Yeah.
You talk, you say, I see where this is going, because then I can see it, and you pick up on things that the casual movie goers don't catch.
Right.
Some things I don't even pick up on. So we have too much knowledge, too much experience watching movies, especially in our age, and seeing movies from the 90s and 80s.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I watched a movie, I gotta say, I mentioned it to you earlier, I watched this movie, Red Sonja. It's 1986. I watched about the first 25 minutes because I watched it as a kid. But I didn't want to watch, I just wanted to see it to see how I felt about seeing it 30 years later.
Yeah.
But I watched the scene in there, and the scene in Red Sonja reminded me, not shot for shot, but it made me feel like they were the directors of the first Wonder Woman were inspired by that scene. No, wait, it wasn't Wonder Woman. It was with the mother box, Justice League, yeah,
Justice League.
Because that's the one where Steppenwolf had the mother box in the Amazonian. I'm watching the movie, I'm like, I don't think I've seen this before. And I'm like, holy crap! The room they're in looks like it. The area they're in, the women, they were all women, and the only thing missing was a big villain, Steppenwolf. But there was a whole bunch of henchmen coming in trying to get. Oh God! They were trying to get this orb. Which looked like it was a ball. Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you. Okay. But it looked like the mother box was square, this orb was round, and they're trying to get this, and they carry it out, and they lock the women in the room, in the castle, and they go off chasing. Only one got away. But it wasn't a drawn out battle because it was 86 and special effects weren't what they are, so they hate.
Yeah.
But
and the younger generation wouldn't know about certain things of different movies, so when they see something, it's like, oh my God, this is the first time they've ever done something like this. And you have to think that these directors, writers, producers, they're getting ideas. Some of them may be original, but some of them they're copying from older movies. You know, that's just reality. The movies from the 70s did it for movies probably from the 30s and 40s or whatever. You know, so you see movies that have aspects of older movies. Yeah, the action is bigger. You know, the graphics and all of that. They didn't have that back then.
No.
So that was the best from their time.
Yeah.
But now we could take something from this time and just make it spectacular in this time. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt younger generations to watch some older movies, and then when they see something, they're like, oh, okay, well, they got this idea from this.
Yeah.
Everything, music, TV, theater, comes from somewhere before. It's not, I don't think I've seen lately anything that's 100% original.
Yeah, and the reason for that, the original content doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood and the movie, and Thor's a victim of this as well. Because there are a lot of elements in Thor and Doctor Strange that are kind of picked up, placed over here, redress it, and give it something different.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a keen eye for catching stuff like that, you won't get it. Because it's a lot of times it's wrapped up in emotion. Like Thor: Love and Thunder had the aspect of Jane Foster being diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and dying. So they created a heartstring for you there, and most of the society has a connection to that. So when you're watching the movie, you're emotionally engaged.
Yeah.
The action around it is heightened because you know what the stakes are. So they up the stakes. Like a lot of movies do that. A lot of movies use cancer. And because it's one of the things that speaks to everyone.
Right. It's the most dramatic thing you can say is she's dying from cancer. Then now there are other diseases that you can die from, but you know, every commercials, movies, TV shows, that's the one go-to disease that they use. Yeah, that you don't have to explain it. Right. It's like saying it, and everybody gets, oh, I get it. Get it. Like, you know, like frostbite. Yeah. You know. You're gonna lose that finger. You know. Or like in the movie where a bad guy gets cut or shot in the major artery, starts bleeding. People, he's dead. He's dead. Right. He's dead. You can't stop that. So my guy. Yeah. Those are called I call boxed complications. Like we need a complication for this scene. Pull one box out. Boom, this is what you get. You either get shot in the shoulder
shoulder shot is you're gonna survive. Everyone survives a shoulder shot. I don't care what you get shot with a harpoon in the shoulder. Oh, thank God it was his shoulder.
He's still running with the harpoon inside.
Or bullet wound. The good guy, the hero shot. He dug 1,600 rounds, but that one guy, boom, I got you. In the shoulder.
Yeah, and then he still kills the bad guy and then collapses after that. Come on.
Can I get an ambulance for this over here? I've never been shot, but I was hit in the shoulder, and it hurts.
And you had a surgery.
I had shoulder surgery.
So, you know.
I'm like,
time takes you out. You ain't gonna still be able to fire off that kill shot.
Right. And it's always the left shoulder because most people are right-handed. And you can still bang bang. I can still get you.
Or you laying on the ground like this and just so happen to shoot up.
Right. Every night they're throwing he got shot. We're not sure where. And he's like sitting in the corner.
And then they go, where are you hit? Where are you? Oh, it's not my blood. It's his blood. And then realize he actually did get shot.
Yeah. You okay? I'm not doing too good. So they do that stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. So, but back to that's my whole thing about the critics. Like, look, critics have seen more movies than the majority of us will ever see in our lives. Their job is to watch movies, even if you don't like them. So they're going to give you an opinion, but their opinion is always skewed by their history. Like, so I mean, you know, that's one of those things. But unfortunately to me, I overlooked those things for this movie, which is why I gave it B-.
So go see it if you haven't seen it. You know, like we said, we did a spoiler. We haven't done a review in a while.
Yeah, we're gonna move around.
You know, you get a spoiler for the first one back.
You get a spoiler.
Sorry, guys.
You put a spoiler in the back of that whip. So you check it out. Leave us in the comments. Tell what you think. If we missed some things or you saw some different angles of things that we talked about, let us know. We'd love to hear it from you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once again, thanks again for staying here with us. If you made it to the end, you are a true soldier, and we appreciate and love you.
Yes.
I'm Greg.
I'm Nika.
We're Two Cent Movies Talk, and we will see you after our next show.